Good evening, all of you. I am Dr. Gangadhar Reddy, Senior Consultant Pulmonologist at Yashoda Hospital, Secunderabad, Telangana State. Now I am going to brief about coronavirus and COVID-19 disease. What is coronavirus and COVID pneumonia? To begin with, a novel coronavirus was identified in December 2019 in Wuhan city of Hubei province in China. This is a new coronavirus that has not been previously identified in humans. Coronaviruses are a large family of viruses that are known to cause illnesses ranging from the common cold to severe disease. There are more than 7 types of coronaviruses. We already know some of them. These are the causes of severe acute respiratory syndrome in 2003 and Middle East respiratory syndrome in 2012. So these viruses are generally hosts in the birds and non-human mammals like camels, bats, cats and pangolins. Actually, it is presumed that coronavirus first it got transmitted to humans from bats in a wet market in Wuhan. Since December 2019, multiple cases of coronavirus pneumonia have been identified in Wuhan and later also found in other parts of China and also in other countries as well. So, this novel coronavirus was named as SARS coronavirus 2 and the disease caused by this virus is named as COVID-19 by WHO on February 11th. Earlier, another coronavirus, SARS-CoV-1, was the cause of severe acute respiratory syndrome outbreak in 2003 and which was isolated from bats. Other similar coronavirus causing MERS or Middle East respiratory syndrome coronavirus was found in camels in 2012. So, based on R0 values, that means which stands for how many people can be infected by one person, it is called R0 value. It is deemed that SARS coronavirus 2 is more infectious than SARS and MERS viruses. So, this coronavirus is highly infectious and spreading across the globe at an alarming rate and has resulted in a rapid pandemic. So, on January 31st, WHO has declared this as a global health emergency. So, as of today, worldwide there are more than 50 lakh cases and in India more than 1 lakh cases and we have witnessed more than 3 lakhs deaths as of today. How this COVID or coronavirus spreads? So, generally patients infected with this virus are the main source of infection. Transmission happens mainly by droplets which are being generated by a sneezing and coughing of the patients and also by close contact with these patients and also by an aerosol route, especially in a relatively closed environment. So, all the people, all sexes and all age groups are equally vulnerable to this COVID-19 disease. Actually, how this disease starts? Whenever a patient inhales this virus droplet or aerosol, first it enters through upper respiratory tract into human body. Upper respiratory tract means nose, nasopharynx, oropharynx. From there it reaches to the lungs. In the lungs it enters into the bronchial epithelium and alveoli. There this virus multiplies into millions of viral copies from where it reaches to other organs through bloodstream and it reaches to the liver, spleen, gut, heart, kidney, brain, etc. So what are the symptoms of this COVID-19 disease? Symptoms generally start after an incubation period of 2 to 14 days and there are 3 types. So mild disease, moderate disease and severe disease. In majority of the patients, say around 80%, they will have mild disease. In the mild fever, dry cough and sore throat. Generally this subsides on its own, doesn't require any major treatment. In about 15 to 20% of the cases, moderate stage or moderate severity, patient will have some fever, cough and also some shortness of breath. But in severe disease, where around 5% of the patients will have severe respiratory distress, they will present with severe pneumonia. But most of the patients have good prognosis and a small percentage of the patients are going to the critical stage and they land up in acute respiratory distress syndrome, multi-organ dysfunction syndrome or shock. So generally who develop these serious diseases, especially elderly patients who are more than 60 or 70, are those patients who have already got some previous diseases, like those who are diabetics, those who have hypertension, heart disease, or previous respiratory diseases like chronic bronchitis, asthma, or interstitial lung disease, or kidney patients or cancer patients. These are the most vulnerable patients in which this disease take into the serious disease shape. So out of 15 to 20%, only 5% land up in severe disease, and in this 5%, 2% of the patients may succumb to this disease. So, how do we diagnose after suspicion of the COVID-19? What are the tests that are available? So, blood tests, generally these tests are done in hospitalized patients where we see the blood counts or lymphocyte counts and certain liver enzymes or certain inflammatory markers like LDH, CPK, troponin, CRP, ESR, D-dimer. These are also assessed. These are generally raised in COVID disease patients. But the gold standard test is RT-PCR test. Here, a coronavirus is detected in nasal or pharyngeal swab. This is a swab, a cotton rolled to a stick or dacron, where it is touched to the posterior pharynx of the either behind the nose or posterior wall of the mouth, where we collect this swab from the patient, and this is sent for isolation of the virus. This identifies the active disease, whether patient is having active disease or not will be assessed by this RT-PCR test. So that's why this is considered as the gold standard test. But this identifies only 65 to 70% of the cases. Not all the patients will be correctly identified by the RT-PCR test. That is what is called sensitivity. It is only up to the tune of 70%. Other tests also nowadays available. These are serological tests where we detect the antibodies. In this IgM antibodies, these are detectable in the patient blood after 3 to 5 days, and IgG antibodies, these are detectable after 10 to 14 days. But the drawback with these serological tests are they will not indicate the activity of the disease. Those patients who are recovered or asymptomatic also will have these antibodies. And certain other tests like chest X-ray and CT scan of the chest also sometimes helps in diagnosing this COVID-19 disease. But what is the treatment? Sadly, there is no specific treatment. Treatment mainly consists of symptomatic and supportive care. Mild cases just require paracetamol, plenty of oral liquids, and then some nutritional supplements and B complex and vitamin C tablets. That is good enough. But on the other hand, critically ill patients require intensive care support. They may require oxygen, they may require ventilatory support, they may also require ECMO, or they may require other organ support measures, they may require BP improving drugs, they may require DAS, etc. Coming to the medication, what are available to treat COVID-19 pneumonia? Various medications have been tried which have been used for other diseases, also tried for this disease. The results are not much encouraging. Chloroquine have been tried, hydroxychloroquine have been tried, other antivirals like lopinavir, ritonavir, remdesivir also tried. In certain centers, aerosol interferon alpha, intravenous famotidine have also been tried. Convalescent plasma, that is a plasma that is the blood separated with blood cells, is called convalescent plasma collected from a recovered patient of this COVID disease, is also tried in certain centers, especially in severe and critically ill patients. Immunotherapy with tocilizumab has been tried in severe patients. But all these previously discussed medications and are not showing encouraging results. So which one is more promising, we don't know as of now. Various clinical trials are ongoing. We may get some clear picture in coming days. So prevention is the main key. So isolation is one of the most effective measures for containment of COVID-19. As far as possible, avoid close contact with the patients. Patients and general public must use masks to cover cough and sneezing. And another important measure is frequent hand washing with soap and water and usage of hand sanitizers to prevent droplet spread. Regarding vaccine, there is a lot of expectations on vaccine. Numerous vaccine trials are on full swing, but no vaccine is available yet. may be available for general use in next 12 to 18 months. So intense monitoring and isolation protocols is the only way to prevent further transmission of this deadly pandemic. So this is all briefly about coronavirus and COVID-19. Thank you one and all.